Alrighty then, hey guys, welcome to another video, The One Good Road here. Today I wanted to give you a bit of a review on the Reid CX model, well, from Reid Cycles. I've done about almost 5,000 kilometers on it so far, and I have cycled with it from Sydney to Perth, so I have some definite experience with this bike now. Like right off the bat, I have to mention that the price point for this bike is incredible. Like, you will not find many other bikes in this price range. This bike, they had it on sale for $600. I bought it for $630 because that's the time I bought it. That's the price I got it for. And right now, I think it's retailing for $700. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk through the different aspects of the bike. As you can see, I've added a lot to it. So I'll first off maybe mention that for example, this blue lock, this round one, this is a cable lock and it has like a mesh around it. That is not obviously with it. This B-twin bag isn't. This top two bag isn't. This frame bag doesn't come with it. The bottles, that whatever that is down there, I can't describe that. And these two bottles on the side of the fork here. I have a whole video about how I put these on. Anyway, so those things don't come with it. Oh yeah, and the error bars don't come with it. The error bars are from Decathlon. So what you do get when you either get it for that price of 600 or 700 bucks, and that's Aussie dollars, is because Reid is a Australian company. What you do get are the Shimano Claris, which is the basic, the most basic group set that Shimano do, but it's really surprisingly good and they work just fine. There's not really any complaints that I have about it. Maybe the only thing off the top of my head is, for some reason, every 1,000 kilometers I had to adjust the cable tension. I'm not sure why. Maybe that's just normal, but I haven't had that before happen to me. It might be because I had a bag which would sit in the front here because I did it for bikepacking. I did bikepacking, so maybe the cables were being pushed inwards here. I'm not entirely sure why, but that was the only thing I had. But shifting on the back has been fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's an 8-speed, and it's been good. Both of them have been good. The bar tape has been fine. It's a bit worn in a little bit, I suppose, but it's actually really good, actually, surprisingly so. After I've had this bike for almost 3 months now, so it's tricky to say what's good or bad about it in 3 months, I know, but 5,000 Ks does put it through its paces. And as I continue to ride this, I will give you updates along the way. If you have any questions, just let me know. Now, the tires which came with this were the Continentals, and they have already worn out. The back one was gone within about 2,000 kilometers, and I had to change the front one to the back, and the front one lasted me all the way to the Albany Highway, so that's about 4,500 Ks. And by last, I mean that it was worn and I was getting punctures like instantly, which is a little bit like, but for the price point, 2,000, 4,000 kilometers of a tire, I mean, that's what you're gonna get, Now, I swapped it to this company. I don't really know them, but Scorcher have been pretty good. They're heavy but chunky, and they've got some sort of protection in there. It's pretty good. Now, the front one is a different model. It's a really crap tire. I do not recommend it. It has been bulging. I do not recommend this. It's called the Indie Pack model, and that tire does not come with the Reid Cycles bike. It's just that I put it on because I had very little money, and it's not good. Do not recommend that tire. But the tires which came with this bike were so-so. They were okay. It would be nice to have a bit more puncture protection. And I mean, I put a lot of weight on this bike, of course, because I was bikepacking with it. Not everybody's going to do that, I know. But if you're a rider which weighs 80 kilos, you might just want to keep that in mind, that you might want to swap the tires, maybe. But they were okay. I mean, they'll do just fine. So the rims here, the wheel set, Alex Rims SX44. This does not come with this bike. Long story short, the spokes which came before this on the last wheel set from the Alex Rims M17, I think they were called, MD17. Well, I'm not sure what was wrong with the rim was okay, but the spokes, they just kept breaking all the time. Like every 1,000 or 500 Ks, one spoke would break. It was really bad. And I talked to Reid about it. They acknowledged that it was a problem. And they've actually, since then, they replaced them for these newer ones. These are mountain bike ones, and they have been strong as. I've had no problems from Siduna to here. That's about 2,500 kilometers. No problems. These ones are eyeletted around the nipples in there. I don't know if you can see that. So they are going to, well, be better anyway and stay in there better. They're also thicker, these ones. And I'm really grateful that they sent me out these ones. So, and across their entire lineup, they told me, I went to the Reid store a few days ago, and they said that they've changed all of the spokes on, or as much as they can, on these newer ones. So they've changed them to a different, so that's good. I think that the ones which come with the other one are probably going to be fine, but that's something you want to ask maybe the guy who you're buying off in the Reid store, like, hey, this is the new wheel set. That's just my opinion. I'm being honest with it, but I'm really glad that they sent me these ones, and they've been super strong, had no problems with them, and I'm really grateful that they sent them out. So yeah, that's the wheel set. Might want to keep an eye on that. So, the Avid. The brakes are from, SRAM is from Avid, aren't they, I think. And they've been great. There's been hardly any problems with them. The cables are solid as, there's nothing wrong with the cables. The cables on the shifter and the brake have been really good. I did have a problem where I was trying to realign the whole caliper here, and I just kind of made it rub on the disc, which was a bit stupid of me, and eventually, after ages of fixing it, I finally got it, I think. But the pads are still good. Bear in mind I'm riding in Australia, so there's not many mountains here. There's only rolling hills and that sort of landscape, which you'll see in my upcoming film eventually of me touring in Australia with this bike. And you can see what happens as I ride through it with every day. But yeah, the brakes have been great. Nothing wrong with them. You might have to dig them in a bit on the first few goes with using it, but you'll get used to that. And they'll rub in and they'll be much better. But they're not going to be hydraulic, just keep that in mind. Both of them are discs. Let's have a look. The fork has been pretty good. It's an aluminium, actually the whole frame is aluminium. The paint job, I think that maybe it should be changed to white and black. I think it's a bit more of a neutral color, but orange doesn't bother me. I don't mind. Now, I've had some scuffing of the paint here. That's because I have a bag which sits here. The Apidura bag sits right there. Now, the paint's stripped away, but the aluminium's showing, and there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with that. I think it's fine. That's totally my fault for letting it rest on there. I only noticed it when I took the bag off. But yeah, the paint's okay, but just keep it in mind that this bike is only $600, which is about 380 pounds or something like that, or $500 US. So it's really cheap. You're getting a good value of a bike from Reid Cycles, honestly. They do really good value bikes. Now, the saddle is a stock saddle. I've been fine with it. Nothing wrong with it for me. It's pretty comfy, actually. Nothing wrong with it. So that's good. The pedals which came with it are these cheap Chinese sort of just crap ones, and they've actually been fine, which is so surprising to me. I lost the cap here on the end, so the whole bearing is now, let me just focus a bit, there we go. The whole bearing is starting to wobble. I don't know if you can see that, which is a bit annoying. That's my fault for losing that cap. The whole pedal's been, the other pedal's fine, which is so surprising. So you'll when you buy this bike, you'll probably get the same pedals and they're fine. The crankset is from Lasco. That's to keep the price down. That's what one of the managers mentioned to me, and I get it. makes sense. I've had no problems with it. The only thing is maybe when I'm pedaling with a lot of force, every 500 Ks or so, I'll hear like a loud click. I'm not sure what it is. It's either, I don't think it's the bottom bracket. It could be. Sometimes cheap bottom brackets make that sound, but it's like not hardly even noticeable. And like I said, it happens every like 1,000 to 500 Ks or so. It might be that just the simple fact that my cassette is being worn on the back. So that might be the problem. And I haven't changed it since I got it. So it's got quite a bit of wear and tear on it, to be honest, after 5,000 Ks. I don't know if you can see that. That's the teeth. That gives you an idea of the wear there. Come on, focus. We want you to focus today. Come on. There we go. So yeah, they're alright. I might need to change them pretty soon though. The chain I've had to change 3 times. The one which came with it wore out really fast, that's what I noticed. But the Shimano, is this a SRAM chain? I think I put a SRAM chain on a Shimano group set, but well, it's not a group set, of course. This crankset's from Velasco, which is just a Taiwanese company. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's just, you know, not a full-blown, trusted, well-known brand. That's all. And everyone knows Alex rims. Frame's pretty heavy. The bike itself weighs 11.5 kilos. I mean, it's not that bad. If it's heavier in some ways, it could mean it's stronger. So that's possibly a good thing. The wheels, I know that when I changed them, I could feel that these wheels, these other Alex rims are heavier. And that's pretty much it. Right, I've just swapped the bike to the other side, so you can now see the crankset here. I've had no problems with the crankset's bearing. The bottom bracket's been just fine. There's no wobble or play in that bearing there. And the hubs have been fine. They're from Joytech. And bearing in mind, I changed the wheel set halfway throughout the trip, but it's been really good, very strong. And the derailleur just there has been absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Shifts just fine. 8-speed, pretty good. Feels like a old Sora shifter or derailleur, to be honest. So they definitely upgraded that. So Shimano done a good job with that for the price point. So yeah, the Reid CX is pretty impressive for the price. I'm really impressed by what Reid Cycles have done here. Their customer service has been absolutely amazing with the whole wheel thing, and just, yeah, totally recommend them. So you leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. I do all sorts of bike packing, cycling content, so definitely subscribe. Alright, see you guys in the next video.